To be honest, my wife and I would have preferred that this marriage never occurred, and I want them to separate right now. Julian, my sister's father-in-law, gave a speech like this on the day of her wedding. "You don't deserve my son." He was making fun of me and my sister. My sister, clothed in her bridal gown, was in tears. I stood up as the older brother to wash away my sister and her husband's humiliation caused by Julian, who had come to disrupt the wedding ceremony. The crowded hall grew silent, but after a brief interval, it erupted in applause. My name is Daniel Clark. I am 30 years old and single. Currently, I run my family's small bento shop. Following the death of my parents in a car accident during my sophomore year of college, I opted to take over the family business and dropped out of college. I moved back to my parents' house to live with my younger sister, Emily, who is 6 years my junior, and took over the shop. I wanted to become a civil servant in the future, but I had no choice. I had to work as hard as I could to support my sister. Fortunately, my parents had kept thick notebooks with precise information about the amount of ingredients for each bento, how to create it, and so on. They even described how to compute the cost of each item. My mother, who was an excellent writer, had neatly duplicated my father's scribbled notes. Bento Shop Clark, my mother had neatly handwritten the store name on the signboard. She used to tell me, "Letters express what's in your heart, Daniel. You should learn to write beautifully too." I had been taking calligraphy classes since I was little. Nowadays, we live in a world where we can write anything on a computer, but I've always treasured my own handwriting. Perhaps due to my influence, Emily's handwriting was also very beautiful. The modest bento shop, an 8.5 square meter renovated space, and handwritten bento recipes were now a part of my life, a precious asset left to me by my father and mother. With the help of the part-timers who had been working for me for a long time, I was able to make a complete range of dishes based on these recipes. While working, I also obtained a chef's license. Emily occasionally assisted me with my work and saved me in a variety of ways. When I was 24 years old and Emily was 18 years old, I told her, "Daniel, I'll help you with the work after I graduate." "No, you don't have to. I'll take care of it so you can do whatever you want." If I can do whatever I want right now, I have only one choice, making bento. After graduating from high school, Emily immediately helped me with the family business. I was very grateful. At the time, I was able to prepare any dishes, and Emily's assistance provided an excellent opportunity for me to begin crafting my own unique meals. I looked at what was selling well and reviewed each menu choice. We gradually reduced the number of options and settled on a strategy of sticking to our basic bento selection. "Daniel, the fried chicken is selling like hotcakes lately. I've added a touch to Mom and Dad's recipes. It has a soy sauce flavor with a heavy dose of garlic and ginger. Curry chicken with different spices has been selling well too. I hope they sell more and more in the future. Shall we increase the amount of preparation? I'll support you, so don't hesitate to ask." As Emily said, the fried chicken became a hit. Day after day, it quickly spread by word of mouth. Some regulars ordered chicken curry with fried chicken, which was not on the menu. Before long, this became the mainstay of the menu. Our customers helped to grow our bento shop. My father used to say there were times when we were busy, but as I looked at the hard work of our part-timer and Emily and the smiling faces of the customers who happily bought our products, my fatigue after work was naturally treated. As the second-generation owner, I was convinced that there was room for growth at Bento Shop Clark and that there was more that we could do. "Hello." Emily's cheerful voice echoed through the store. I realized the same man had come to the store again. He was a regular customer. He was a customer who would soon finish ordering practically everything on the restaurant's menu. "The only items you have left to order are the special chicken curry with fried chicken and a bento with fried chicken. You've been dropping by here a lot, haven't you?" Emily told him. "I want to save the fun for last." "I always appreciate your tasty bento," the male customer replied. We were very grateful to have regular customers. When the weather is terrible, such as when it rains heavily, sales are always down, but he came even on a hurricane day. Daniel, you know what? Actually, he and I are dating. No way, Emily. When did it happen? His name is Benjamin Robinson. Benjamin is a second-year graduate student my age. His family runs a food manufacturing company, which he plans to take over in the future. When I asked her how they first became acquainted, she said, "You know the pop display for bento, right? Oh, you're referring to the handwritten price cards for product descriptions, the ones you write?" I replied. He asked me who wrote those. When I told him it was me, he was very interested. They say that letters express what's in your heart, right? I guess that's why he fell in love with me. After that, he started coming here frequently. That's incredible. Good for you, Emily. I'm happy for you. Emily had never been in a relationship with the opposite sex before, and at the age of 24, it was finally time for her to shine. As her brother, I was very happy for her. Emily, about the store. You can always quit whenever you want to. I've already set up a system so that I can manage it without you. I know, but I've already told Benjamin that I'll keep working at the bento shop. I love our store, even if we have to live apart. I'm sure I'll still commute to work. For me, it's nice to experience the growth of the store firsthand. It's a legacy from Mom and Dad. I'll introduce Benjamin to you properly soon. And indeed, Emily introduced Benjamin to me. My name is Benjamin Robinson. I am Emily's brother, Daniel Clark. He was a nice young man, slender, tall, and very elegant. I heard that he loved Emily's calligraphy and how she cheerfully served customers. I ate the special chicken curry with fried chicken, and it was impressive, very delicious. If you let me, I would like to help you. Why not sell the chicken curry as a boil-in-the-bag product? Boil-in-the-bag style? I never thought of that. Please let me help you. I heard that his family was in the food manufacturing business, so I wrote down the chicken curry recipe that I inherited from my parents. Of course, I made some modifications to make it spicier. The boil-in-the-bag product was developed. Did you write these, Daniel? It's different from Emily's, but it's also beautiful handwriting. Really? Both Emily and I learned calligraphy from our mother. I see. I have a proposal. I believe your handwriting would make the label more appealing. I think Emily's handwriting is better. My sister's handwriting is universally accepted. Got it. Then I'll proceed with that. We collaborated in making a boil-in-the-bag curry. 1 month later, 100 servings of chicken curry were delivered to the restaurant, full of handwritten labels I wrote. They look fantastic. This is amazing. All you have to do is boil them in hot water, and you can eat them. Amazing. Benjamin, how can we thank you? Don't mention it. This is something I wanted to do when I was a student, as well as marketing. Just the fact that you cooperated with me is enough. Thank you. I'm so happy. Emily carefully positioned the new products in a store display corner with a handmade pop sign. As a result, this too was a big hit. It sold like hotcakes, and we had to order more. The bento shop Clark boil-in-the-bag chicken curry became so famous that it was also sold in local convenience stores and supermarkets. One day, when the store was closed for our day off, Emily's eyes were swollen. She seemed to be crying. What's wrong? What happened? If you'd like to, you can tell me about it. Benjamin's parents are against our marriage. The story goes like this. After graduating from graduate school, Benjamin and I started dating on the premise of marriage. Once when Benjamin introduced me to his parents, Benjamin's father said, "Do you really want to be with Benjamin? Your parents passed away a long time ago, and you are the daughter of a small bento shop owner." Yes, my parents died when I was 16 years old. I began working in the family business soon after graduating from high school. I can also look for someone for Benjamin. You may be a hard worker, but you're not worthy of my son. My son is the most important first son in our family. I think you should leave now. That's what Benjamin's father said. Benjamin tried to convince his father, but he wouldn't listen. I came home sad, ashamed, and disappointed. So according to his father, you don't deserve him. I see. I can't believe that even in 2022, there are parents who still consider so-called political weddings. I'm proud to be the daughter of a small bento shop owner, but today I feel like I've been ripped to shreds. I couldn't help but cry. He doesn't know anything about what's going on. Yet he judged you based only on what he heard. Benjamin said he won't give up. He wants to go ahead with the preparations for the marriage, even if his father is against it. You'll end up eloping if you're not careful. In other words, Romeo and Juliet in reverse. It might lead to a tragedy. I told Benjamin not to push it too far, but he said he couldn't think of anyone else but me. He was seriously thinking about it. He said he would cut ties with his parents. I wondered if this was a good thing for both of them. As a brother, I couldn't allow my precious sister to cry. If you have a problem, even a small one, promise me you'll talk to me. Thank you, Daniel. She must have been frustrated that someone looked down on her for the first time. Emily's eyes were brimming with tears. Benjamin's seriousness about marriage was considerable. Emily handwrote wedding invitations at home and steadily made preparations for the wedding. Well, it's their life, and it wasn't something I should poke my nose into. On the other hand, I was attempting to publicize the store using a computer and smartphone, something I was inexperienced with. I was making a website and using social networking sites to spread the word about the business. I recently purchased a food truck and requested Emily to handwrite on the blackboard. I also went to market events conducted in a nearby square. Bento Shop Clark gradually gained popularity as a result of these consistent operations. The wedding date was set. It was to be a small wedding with all the relatives gathered. Daniel, I was able to persuade my parents to support me. You don't have to worry about anything when you come to the ceremony. I believe you, Benjamin, but Emily says she still likes to work at our store. I've already mentioned that too. It would be more helpful if we both worked together. I'm sure you will be lonely without me, right? You know many customers come to get energy from me. For me, she was my only sister and my only family. It was my responsibility as her brother to send her off to be a bride. But to be honest, I was a little lonely. The only thing that helped me was that she had promised to assist me at the bento business. The day of the wedding arrived. Emily usually wore a cotton bandana, an apron, and jeans. But when Emily carefully tied her long hair and put on her wedding dress, I was surprised at how gorgeous and beautiful my sister became. I was driven to tears seeing her in her wedding gown, remembering all the tribulations I had put her through as an older brother. Why are you crying, Daniel? It's too soon to cry. Nothing has begun yet. Huh? No. I just got some dust in my eye. Ouch. Oh yeah, I got to take a picture. I took out my SLR camera, which I don't usually use, and I took pictures from various angles. I must have clicked the shutter about 50 times. I wanted it to be a precious memory for us. Daniel, you are so sweet. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. I'm always counting on you. I'm sure she'd rather have said such remarks to our parents. Since I dropped out of college, I'd always been a substitute for our parents. I suppose I did contribute in some way. I was so moved by Emily's words of thanks that I turned away and cried. The ceremony went on as planned. The bride and groom sat down and looked at me shyly and smilingly. It was Julian's turn to make a speech. He had previously objected, claiming that Emily did not deserve Benjamin. But now that Benjamin had persuaded him, I could watch with peace of mind. I'm Julian Robinson, father of the groom, Benjamin. Today is a fine day. I looked at the groom's father and thought that I'd seen him somewhere. He seemed to be good at getting everyone's attention, as he was used to making speeches. The content of the speech seemed to be carefully written on a piece of vertically written paper. It was more like a crib sheet written on a piece of paper. I had a feeling that this might take some time, but I knew it was full of emotional anecdotes that the bride and groom would enjoy hearing. So I'm currently running a food manufacturing company. I hope to pass the reins to my eldest son Benjamin in the future. He talked about how he founded the company, how he raised Benjamin with great care, and how he wanted him to take over the company in the future. I was sure that Emily's future was secured. However, as the talk went on, I became increasingly concerned that things were heading in an unexpected direction. The bride's parents had passed away early in her life, and as the daughter of a bento shop owner, she had quite a hard time. Benjamin, by comparison, has graduated from graduate school and is now on a career track. This is exactly what I meant by not deserving of one's position. I wonder if such a misfortune should be permitted. To be honest, my wife and I would prefer that this marriage never occurred, and I want them to separate right now. As he said that, the folks in the hall started buzzing. Julian placed the letter on the table in front of the bride and groom as if to say, "Please accept this." During his speech, he suggested that they break up. This wedding was intended to make fun of me and Emily and spoil Emily's wedding. Emily was in tears. The groom, Benjamin, was so mad at his father's selfishness that he got up from his seat. I couldn't stand it any longer. So I got up from my seat and motioned with my hand for Benjamin to quiet down. I picked up Julian's letter and stood at the microphone for the speech. "What are you doing? Why do you have my letter?" Julian spoke to me. "I'm giving the speech next. That's why I'm here." I smiled and replied. The MC hurriedly introduced me. "My name is Daniel Clark, the bride's brother." "Daniel Clark? Who the hell is he?" Julian looked at me, trying to recall something. "The groom's parents are against the marriage, but I am on the side of approval. Although I am the son of a bento shop owner, I have shared many hardships with my sister. My sister and I are extremely proud of the bento shop business we inherited from our deceased parents. We were always proud of it and always will be." The atmosphere was much more electrifying. I went on. "Let us express what's in our hearts. This letter was written by the father on the groom's side. What do you think?" As soon as I saw it, I thought I was truly disappointed. He was so disrespectful that he placed a letter with sloppy handwriting on the table for the bride and groom. I think that he is truly a rude person for doing such a thing on this happy day. "What are you talking about? I've already said that your sister doesn't deserve my son." Julian spoke up. "Do you know who I am, Mr. Robinson?" I said in a strong tone. "Your last name was Clark. Wait, are you the CEO of Bento Shop Clark?" Julian seemed to remember. "I typically dress in an apron and bandana." Finally, he recognized my name and face. "I don't care what you say about me. Even their marriage is similar to Romeo and Juliet in that their social positions are different. It's the life of my sister Emily and Benjamin. I can't describe it well, but as a brother and brother-in-law, I will support and watch over them. That is all. Thank you very much for your attention." The previously electrified room went completely silent, but after a brief pause, the crowd erupted in cheers. After the ceremony, Julian came running to me. "I had no idea that you were Mr. Clark, the CEO. I apologize for my rudeness. I am, after all, the son of a bento shop owner. I understand how you see us, Mr. Robinson." In the past, Julian had visited our shop with his company's executive director. He intended to advertise fried chicken, which was our major product, more extensively. He suggested that we turn it into a frozen food product and create a fried chicken restaurant. It seemed to be a project that would be the lifeblood of his company. I was surprised that anyone would go so far as to buy my recipe, and I was about to sign the contract with them. However, my sister and I were mocked at the wedding, and it made the groom and his child quite embarrassed. "I could see from your letter that you have terrible handwriting." My mother was not wrong. Letters express what's in your heart. "Mr. Robinson, please forget what we discussed. It's impossible to do business with you. Please. We've already decided on the package design and sent it off to the printers. We have 6 stores under contract, and they're being remodeled. You took the decisions too quickly." I didn't sign any contracts, not to mention the recipe I improved on from my parents. I'm not going to share it with anyone. I don't intend to share it with you either. I think you should look elsewhere. The name Bento Shop Clark carries significant brand power. "I beg you," Julian pleaded. Suddenly, Benjamin, the groom, interrupted the conversation. "Dad, as I said before, this is the last day of our father-son relationship. I never thought I would be treated like this by my own father. I'm cutting off our relationship." "No, Benjamin, please reconsider. You are the only heir to the family," Julian exclaimed tearfully. "Who was the first to break his promise?" Benjamin retorted. As a result, Julian was no longer Emily's father-in-law, and Benjamin became my son-in-law. In other words, Benjamin was to adopt the surname Clark, the same name as Emily and me. After the wedding, Emily and Benjamin moved into an apartment near our store. Emily's commute to work, which used to be a 0-minute walk, was now a 20-minute bicycle ride as usual. She continued working hard to serve customers and cook. Emily's handwritten signboard had become her signature style. It was an indispensable sales promotion tool for Bento Shop Clark. Benjamin often asked, Is there anything I can do to help? He became a strong supporter of mine in the management side of the business, which did not involve cooking. True, his father, with whom he severed ties, was a business owner, but Benjamin's marketing skills were incredible. He was so proficient at marketing that he eventually struck out on his own and founded his own digital marketing firm. Julian brought in a new president of a food manufacturing company from overseas because there was no one left to take over. However, Julian, who was not excellent at delegating work to others, quickly deposed the new president and took over as chairman and president himself. His celebrity was bad for the corporation, and it was only getting worse. Julian appeared to be deeply saddened by Benjamin's betrayal, as he had expected so much from him. On the other hand, with Benjamin's help, I am now focusing on product development. It has been difficult to create a hit product, though. However, Bento Shop Clark has become more well-known than before. This was because chicken curry, a product proposed by Benjamin in the past, which was only available at convenience stores and supermarkets before, was now available anywhere in America via the internet. We had no idea that it would be sold through department stores. It was as though a small stone had been dropped into a body of water, creating ripples. What my parents had built was expanding this way. One day, a woman came in for an interview. She was 1 year older than me. I looked over her resume. It was handwritten neatly. It appeared to be something my mother would have written. The woman said she liked our lunch options, the interior of the store, and everything about it. She was serious about getting the job. Emily praised her courteous customer service and work ethic. Let us express what's in your heart, my mother used to say. I was very amazed with her resume's neat handwriting, and I proposed to her. We are now a family of 4 with 2 children. Today, we're heading to the food festival in a food truck with my family of 4, and my sister and her husband. The place was Newport. Many people came to the market. For today, I made some changes to my standard fried chicken bento. In my perspective, Bento Shop Clark has a promising future.